The Puamau ran aground in Fulanga. It's an island to the southern eastern of Fiji, close to Tonga, about 330 kilometers away from the capital city, Suva. It was on patrol, Beverley, in the country's war on drugs.
So Australia had provided this vessel to Fiji to support them in this war on drugs?
That's right, Beverley. The RFNS Puamau was handed over to Prime Minister Sitiveni Rabuka at the Stirling Naval Base in Perth, Australia in March. The vessel arrived sometime in April, and less than a month ago on the 18th of May, it was commissioned here in the naval base here in the capital city, Suva. And what we understand is that it ran aground on Sunday while conducting patrol. What we have heard from the naval social media platforms tonight is that they're making arrangements to have the vessel brought back to Suva. They've described what looks to be an elaborate operation to bring the vessel back to the standing naval base here in Suva.
Yeah, so we'll watch that one. While the government grapples with some big issues like this, they awarded themselves a rather hefty pay rise. How did that come about?
It's been 2 weeks of a lot of controversy around that pay rise, Beverley. What happened was in July of last year, a parliamentary subcommittee was put together to look at emoluments package of not just the members of parliament, but the speaker as well as the president of the country. And just at the beginning of this year, they came up with a report that they said had included the work and analysis of an independent consultant. Now, that consultant was of the view that Fijian members of parliament are grossly underpaid. And so we were looking at increases of $50,000, $60,000, $75,000 Fijian. And so it has caused quite a lot of angst in the community. People are united in their anger against the government, Beverley.
Yeah. So what were the FijiFirst members of parliament supposed to do in relation to this pay rise that was awarded?
A part of the anger, I think, that a lot of Fijians face is that the parliament was united almost. That motion, or rather the resolution that has now led to this pay review, had the support of both houses of parliament. There were people who voted against it. But in the FijiFirst party, a party that ran Fiji quite powerfully for the better part of 2 decades, it split the party up. And over this past weekend, Beverley, we did see the founding members, the main leaders, all of the leaders, in fact, of the FijiFirst party have now resigned not just their positions, but their membership of the FijiFirst party as well, Beverley.
So why did they do that?
Well, I guess your guess is as good as mine, and there are a lot of guesses being floated about, but a lot of the constitutional lawyers, as well as the electoral experts that I have spoken to over the last 2 days, say that FijiFirst was already on the radar of the supervisor of elections and the registrar of political parties, because what happened is when those 16 FijiFirst MPs voted in favor of the pay rise, it was against 2 instructions from their acting general secretary to vote against it. And the way that our electoral reforms have happened over the last few years, once you vote against the party line, you effectively lose your seat in that party. And so the FijiFirst party moved to expel and terminate 17 of their MPs, but that did not take effect in the parliament. And what happened is that the supervisor of elections said that, in fact, FijiFirst did not have provisions within its own constitutions to settle disputes such as the one that they had over that pay rise, Beverley. And so they were put on notice that they needed to change their constitution in order to comply with electoral legislation. And the impact of all of their leaders resigning is that no one is now has the power to be able to call an annual general meeting or to be able to effect a change in that constitution. So Beverley, for the next few days, we are waiting until the deadline given by the supervisor of elections by which FijiFirst will be deregistered almost for sure.
That's extraordinary. And of course, the former sort of leader of FijiFirst, Frank Bainimarama, and the Attorney General, two big figures in FijiFirst, are behind bars.
Well, right now we have Frank Bainimarama behind bars, only starting his one-year sentence for some corruption charges. He does face another 2 charges and has been in and out of court with his former Attorney General, Aya Said Kayum. Aya Said Kayum is not in jail yet, Beverley. He continues to fight the charges of abuse of office, amongst other related charges against him. But it was the 2 of them that signed the termination papers for those 17 MPs, and as a result, Frank Bainimarama, the jailed prisoner, is also now attracting attention for how it was that he was able to sign paperwork for a party. Once you are a convicted criminal in this country, you do get struck off the voter roll, and you should not be holding or performing the functions of a political office, Beverley.
Quite extraordinary developments. Great to talk as always. Thanks, Lice.
Vinaka.